And we're live.
I have a topic. Do you guys, you know who Meyers Leonard is? You probably heard about him, even if you don't know the name. He's an NBA player. And I don't know if he was live streaming on Twitch or if he was playing with somebody who was live streaming on Twitch. Anyway, I think the game was Warzone. And he got sniped. And he just went on this like short anti-Semitic thing. He called someone a bike bitch, but not bike, you know. And
because they were Jewish?
No, he doesn't know. The person who sniped him, of course, he knows nothing about him. But the quote was like, you know, don't snipe me, you bitch. And anyway, he's gotten in some hot water. He's suspended by the Miami Heat. He's an NBA player. And he got dropped by his two sponsors, which was Origin PC and Scuff Gaming. They dropped him. And he's apologizing, but he's not playing in the NBA for some period of time. I don't know when he'll come back or if.
Was he any good?
I don't know. I'll look up his stats.
If he's good, he'll be back soon, I bet.
Yeah, I saw the clip. You know, it wasn't directed at a Jewish person. He just said in a moment of like, sort of like frustration.
He was just mad and trying to be mean.
Yeah, like not even to the guy, like the person who had shot him or whatever. It's not like they were listening. You know, it was just, you know.
So now he can't play in the NBA anymore.
He's not super good. So he played 51 games last season and 61 the season before, implying that, like, you know, he gets some time. This year he's averaging about 10 minutes a game and 3 points per game, which is not good. He's 7'1", so that's something.
Jeez. Well, how much does he probably? I mean, the NBA salaries are so insane. Even as a guy who's playing 10 minutes a night, what's he probably making? $10 million a year, something crazy.
I think the league minimum is $990,000 a year, and I would just guess he's not too far from that. I don't know.
Really, I guess maybe I'm overstating how much.
$1 million a year.
I imagine that they get paid.
Oh, you were talking about hockey games earlier. How the fuck do you even? I guess you don't know. Like I want to be able to watch hockey games, but I haven't figured it out.
Well,
you're right. He makes $10 million a year. I'm sorry, 4-year, $41 million contract.
Goddamn.
Oh, I mean, that was a good guess.
You nailed it. Yeah.
So that's hilarious. Someone who is bottom barrel trash NBA play. Maybe he's not bottom barrel. He's making $10 million.
Far.
So he must be one of those guys who's like, maybe he's really useful defensively, because there are guys like that in the NHL too, where it's like you look at their stat sheet and you're like, why the fuck is this guy in his 14th year? And then you like look at his defensive stats and it's like, oh, I get it. This guy can play in any scenario on any line and be defensively responsible. Maybe that's how this guy is. I don't know. But as far as watching hockey, Kyle, maybe I can like add you onto my NHL TV account. Maybe I can add both of you on there. So you can do
I'd like to watch some games, but it's like I don't want to buy $150 pass. Or something. Like, I want to dabble in watching some hockey games.
Well, I'll watch, like, if both of you want to. We did this the other night. I watched with Fish and a couple other guys the Blues game on Discord. I streamed it from my PC, my NHL TV, and we all watched together. And it was fun because, like, obviously some people totally disinterested, wanting to talk about poker, and then but Dirty and Fish were being very engaged. Like, now why the hell was that a whistle? And then what does that mean? And explain this. What's icing again? Like that. And it was like, and it's fun, you know, the same way that I'm sure, like, you know, Chocolate Thunder would really enjoy it if I watched basketball with him and was like asking, like, good faith, like, explain this to me, explain that. Like, I'm interested in what you're interested in. So we should do that sometime. Fish is
going on vacation with me. He's I'm going to be picking him up from the airport. I keep joking that I'm not going to pick him up.
You should continue to joke and make him really believe it. Yeah.
For your reference, Kyle, ESPN Plus has some hockey games, and they've got Colorado tomorrow night at 9 p.m. So,
all right.
Yeah, they just signed a contract with ESPN. The NHL did, which is great news because they've been on NBC for years, and NBC is a joke and it's terrible. And so better highlights on ESPN for hockey will be awesome. Just like having a better aggregate place to find it all. Because like even ESPN, I use ESPN.com for all the hockey stats and everything because sorry, NHL.com, ESPN.com is just way better. It's more streamlined for looking at stats. Wouldn't you know it? They know what they're doing when it comes to sports stats. So yeah, hopefully we'll be able to see some more games there. I'm looking forward to all of the sports guys on ESPN who don't know anything about hockey talking about it. Like Stephen A. Smith
Yep.
You know who he is. He's hilarious. And even he, like, someone tweeted at him and was like, this, like, let's do that hockey joke from SNL with like Chance the Rapper a few years ago. Like, oh, this is going to be Stephen A. Smith when he's getting forced to cover the NHL. And he's like, yep, so true. I don't know what the hell's going on in that sport. He's just like, I mean, I don't watch ESPN, but the clips of him I see, like, he's a charismatic, funny dude.
He tried to cover MMA, and there's something about MMA, like even the fighters you don't like or you think are bad, there's still a level of respect because they go in an octagon in their underwear and they literally get into a fist fight against a trained killer. So you just don't say this guy sucks. Like, that's not a thing people say. You could say he's going to lose or you don't like him, but to act like he's coward. Anyway, Stephen A. Smith committed some of those MMA sins where he's like, this guy blows. What the fuck? He didn't say that, but yeah. So he's one of the most hated people in the MMA community. They all hate him because he doesn't criticize properly. Doesn't do it.
He doesn't know what he's talking about.
Yeah.
True. Doesn't know what he's talking about, but it was the respect part. I think that at least that's what got me, and I think it's what I see on the subreddit.
Yeah, that was a big part of it. But it's like, if you're going to cover a sport, you should really be an expert. And I think you should be an ex-player or at least like an ex-coach or someone who worked in that industry. Like, I would have no fucking business covering MMA. Like, I watch hours of MMA every week. I go to Bloody Elbow 2 or 3 times a week. I'm really into it. I'm on the MMA subreddit all the time. I'm always reading up on people and their backstories. I watch most of every single event that comes out. I have no business covering MMA on a professional level. So why the fuck would Stephen A. Smith have any business doing it?
I agree. I agree with you. I've heard the argument made like, hey, look, he's a big star. You know, maybe not Stephen A. Maybe Justin Bieber's talking about the UFC. You could apply the same thing you said to Justin Bieber, but on the other side, hey, he might bring attention to the sport. He's doing us a favor if you're trying to grow the sport, which I'm not. That's a something. Like, I don't know if you do. I'm in paramotors. And somehow when you're in like a little fringe sport that no one gives a fuck about, it's your job to grow it. It's your job. Like, if this thing's ever going to take off, you know, then we all have to be ambassadors. I don't want other people to do this. Why is that my job? I'm not interested in that.
Have you seen
that I don't agree with, because like paintball was my fringe sport.
Okay,
and
I've
always felt like I should be the best ambassador for it as I can. Like when we would do those events, like a big part of why I wanted to do that event, like, had to do with like growing paintball, because I had seen paintball shrink for years and I hate it because like I want to be able to go play at a full field. I want the prices. I want there to be enough money for research and development amongst the developers of like, you know, better paint markers and paint balls. And I want the sport to grow and get better and for there to be a bigger player base.
So it's the flip side for me. If more people get into paramotoring, then there are more assholes who paramotor. More FAA starts giving us more rules. Now we need licenses and inspected aircraft. Now more farmers fucking hate us for buzzing around. And if I'm the only guy around who's doing this, then there's not much of a problem created by paramotors. If the whole community's into it, then it's fucking flying weed whackers, making noise, disturbing your peace.
I see that.